Hey everyone, welcome back to another coding adventure. Today, I'm super excited to walk you through building a drink bar application using Qt and QML. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a sleek app that looks something like this. Don't worry, we'll go step by step, so you can follow along easily. We're gonna use a JSON file to load all the drink data into our app, making it dynamic and easy to update. So, grab your favorite drink, get Qt Creator ready, and let's dive in. And I've got a Figma template to guide our UI design. I use Figma for all my GUI projects, it's super intuitive and saves so much time. Check it out. I'll drop the template link in the description. Let's jump into coding. Open Qt Creator, go to File, New Project, and pick Qt Quick Application. Choose a project location, I'm just using my workspace. Name the project Drink Bar, then click Next. I'm going with Qt 6.5 for this tutorial, so select that, hit Next, and for build kits, I'm sticking with debug mode to keep it simple. If you need something else, pick what works for you. For project management, I'm skipping version control for now, so just hit Next and finish. Qt Creator sets up a basic Hello World window. Let's build and run it to make sure everything's good. Hit the green Run button, and there it is, our window pops up. Awesome, it's working. Let's close it and start building our UI. First, head to main.qml and set the window resolution to match our Figma template, width 800, height 480. Change the window title to Drink Bar to brand it. Now, let's bring in the UI from our Figma template. Start with a background rectangle that fills the window background color. Set it to this color what I set in the Figma template. Next, we need this, top and bottom lines. Let's add them. Add a rectangle with an ID of top line rect. Set its width to 95% of the parent's width, and height of 1 for a thin line. Set anchors to top to parent.top, set top margin 30, and horizontal center to parent horizontal center. Set the color to white. Now, copy that rectangle for the bottom line. Change the ID to bottom line rect. Change anchors bottom to parent.bottom. And set bottom margin to 30. Others are same. Let's run it. Okay, it's looking good. Now need add a date and time bar at the top. In the top add a rectangle with an ID of date time rect. Set anchors top to parent.top. Left side set to top lines left, so it will align with the top line. Set width to 30% of the parent width. Color to transparent. Inside that, add a text element with an ID of date time text. Anchor left to top lines left and vertical center to parent vertical center. And set some text to match the template. Later we can add the real time. Set text color white and font size to 15. The text isn't anchored correctly. Looks like we forgot the set height. Set height to 30 to fit the text. Perfect. The date and time bar is now spot on with our Figma design. Alright, let's add the middle section with the hot and cold button controls. Between the top and bottom lines, add a new rectangle for the middle section. Set its ID to a hot cool select screen. Set anchors top to parent top and bottom to parent bottom, and add top margin 30 and bottom margin 30. Set the width to parent.width and the color to transparent. Add a new rectangle for the hot button. Set its ID to a hot button rect. Anchor its left to parent.left. Vertical center to parent.vertical center. Top to parent.top, and bottom to parent.bottom. Let's open our Figma template on the side so we can easily check our implementation. Set the width to 50% of the parent's width. Next, let's add the button image and set its ID to hot button image. Set anchors top to parent.top, top margin to 50, and horizontal center to parent.horizontal center. Set width and height to 256 to match our template. We need to set the image source. To organize the project, let's create a clean folder structure for UI elements and controllers. Open the project directory, create a new folder called UI, and inside it, add another folder named Assets. I'll copy my images into this Assets folder. These are ones I downloaded from the internet. If you want to use the same images, head to my GitHub repository and grab them from there, or feel free to use your own images. Set width and height to 256 to match our template. Now set the source of the hot button image. Since main.qml is in the root directory, path is UI assets hotdrink.png. If we run it now, the image won't show up. In the error message, it says the image can't be opened, because we haven't added it to the project resources yet. Let's fix that. Right-click on the project in Qt Creator, select Add Existing Files, and choose all the images in the Assets folder. Now, open the cmakelists.txt file, and you'll see those images listed as resources. If the images aren't added automatically, you'll need to manually update the cmakelists.txt file, especially in older versions of Qt where it doesn't update automatically. Let's run it again. Okay, the image is now correctly added to the view. Set the image holder rectangle background color to transparent. For the image source, I always use the full path, it's a solid practice. Later, I'll move this middle section to a separate QML file, so using the full path means we won't need to update it every time. It's a great habit to keep things clean and portable. Now, let's add the button text, hot, with an ID of a hot button text. Anchors. Top to hot button image bottom. Left to hot button image left. Set text to hot. Color to this color. Font size set to 64. Also add anchors left margin to 40. Now it's looking good. Next, copy this hot button and paste it for cool button. Change the IDs hot to cool. Change the image also. Now set this cool button rect anchors right to parent right. Change text to cool. Color to this color. Run it. Okay, it's fine to me. Alright, let's move this middle section to a separate QML file. Create a new QML file and place it in the UI folder. Name the file as hotcoolselectscreen.qml. Let's cut the middle section from main.qml and paste it into hotcoolselectscreen.qml. If we don't use the full path for the image source, we'd need to adjust the file path based on the current file's location. That's why it's best practice to always use the full path for resources. Back in main.qml, let's add a stack view to manage the middle section of our drink bar application. Import Qt quick controls to use the stack view component. Set ID to stack view. Set anchors.fill to parent. Set the initial item of the stack view to UI hotcoolselectscreen.qml. Open the cmakelists.txt file and verify that hotcoolselectscreen.qml is added to the QML files list. Let's run the app. You can see that hotcoolselectscreen.qml is rendering correctly in the stack view. Now, let's create the second page for the drink selection screen. You can see there are 3 different pages, but they are mostly the same, just with different images. What I'm going to do is dynamically render these images, so we only need 1 page. For now, I'll create a view like this, and later, I'll implement the background update. Let's comment out the stack view for now and start creating the second page here, just like before. If you click the play button in the top right corner, you can check the live update of the view. Create a rectangle and set its ID to drink select screen. Set anchors top to parent.top, bottom to parent.bottom. Top and bottom margins to 30. Set width to parent.width. Color to transparent. To set up the drink item buttons, let's add a grid layout. First, to use grid layout, import Qt Quick Layouts. Set the grid layout to anchors.fill to parent. Set 2 rows and 4 columns. And set row spacing to 5 and column spacing to 5. Now, add a repeater to create the button items and set its ID to drink repeater. Since we don't have a model yet, just set the count to 8. Inside the repeater, add a rectangle. Set color to red for test. And set layout.fill width to true. Also fill height to true. Set the radius to 10. Add other rectangle to set the image and give width to parent.width, height to parent.height. Set color to transparent. Set color to transparent. For these repeating button items, it's good practice to create a custom item. This case is simple, but in general, using custom items is a smart approach. Let's create one. Open the UI folder, create a new folder called Items. And add a new QML file, placing it in the Items folder. Name the file drinkcustomitem.qml. To use drink custom item in main.qml, add import UI items at the top of the file. Now add the drink custom item in here. Since we added a new file, the live update isn't visible yet. After adding the file, build the project once, then click the live preview play button again. Since we added a new file, the live update isn't visible yet. After adding the file, build the project once, then click the live preview play button again. You can see it's working now, but the custom element is empty. Let's edit drinkcustomitem.qml to add some content. Add an image and set its ID to drink item image. Set the source to a placeholder path like this for now. We'll swap it for dynamic images later. You can see the image renders in all the repeating custom items. Alright, let's set the image anchors.center into parent. Set its width to 60% of parent's width and height to 60% of parent's height. In live preview, you can see the image is distorted in the repeating items. Go to main.qml, set the ID of drink custom item. And set anchors.fill to parent. Set this color red to transparent. Alright, the images are now anchored correctly. In drinkcustomitem.qml, add a text element below the image. Set its ID to drink item text, anchor it with anchors horizontal center to parent.horizontal center. And top to drink item image.bottom. Set the text to T for now and the color to white. Set font size to 20. Alright, let's move the drink selection page to a separate QML file. Create a new QML file in the UI folder, and name it drinkselectscreen.qml. Open Make List and check the QML file list. Cut the rectangle with the drink select screen ID from main.qml and paste it into the new drink select screen.qml file. Let's also cut the import statements for Qt Quick Layouts and the UI items folder from main.qml and paste them into drink select screen.qml. Update the items import path also. Back in main.qml, uncomment the stack view and set its initial item to UI drink select screen.qml. Then, run the app. In drink select screen has this navigate back button. Let's add that one. In drink select screen.qml, add a new rectangle at the bottom. Set its ID to back button rect, color to transparent, width to 100, and height to 30. Set anchors top to parent.bottom, left to parent.left, and set left margin to 30. Next, add an image with an ID of back button image and set its source to back icon. Set anchors left to parent.left and vertical center to parent.vertical center. Set width and height to 30. Add a text element, set its text to back and color to white. Anchors left to back button image dot right and vertical center to parent dot vertical center. Set left margin to 5. Set font dot pixel size to 15. Let's run it. It's look good. Now, let's handle the click events and stack view navigation. Open hotCoolSelectScreen.qml and add a mouse area to the hot button rectangle. Set anchors.fill to parent for the mouse area. In the onClicked handler, push drinkSelectScreen.qml to the stack view. In drinkSelectScreen.qml, add a mouse area to the back button rectangle and set anchors.fill to parent. In the onClicked handler, call stackView.pop. In main.qml, update the stack view's initial item to hotCoolSelectScreen.qml. Let's run it to test the click events and stack view navigation. Okay, the click and stack view navigations are working correctly. Copy this onClicked handler from the hot button and paste it into the cool button. Alright, let's create a drink size selection screen. Just like before, comment out the stack view in main.qml and add a rectangle for the size selection screen. Set its ID to drink size select screen. And copy these settings from hot cool select screen. And paste it here. Add a rectangle for the drink image. Set its anchors vertical center to parent.vertical center, left to parent.left, top to parent.top, and bottom to parent.bottom. Set width to 50% of the parent's width and color to transparent. Add an image, and give it an ID of drink image. Then give some drink image path to source. Set anchors.fill to parent. Set fill mode to image pad. Next, let's create the right side size selection panel. Add a new rectangle and set its ID to size select control rect. Set height to parent.height. Set width to 50% of the parent's width. Set anchors right to parent.right. Set color to transparent. Inside that rectangle, add another rectangle and give it an ID of size select panel rect. Set anchors.fill to parent. Set left and right margins to 40. Top and bottom margins to 20. Set radius to 5. And color to this color in the template. Let's add the size title text. Add a new text item and set its ID to size title text. Set text to size and color to white. Set anchors top to parent.top. Set top margin to 5. Horizontal center to parent.horizontal center. Set font.pixel size to 40. Next, let's add the size selection buttons. Add another rectangle and set its ID to select panel in erect. Set anchors top to size title text.bottom. And bottom to parent.bottom. Set width to parent.width. And color to transparent. Add a new rectangle to hold the large size selection button. Set its ID to large size button rect. Height to parent.height divided by 3. Set width to parent.width. Anchors top to parent.top. Set color to transparent. Add a text item, set its text to large. Set color to white. And font.pixel size to 40. Set anchors vertical center to parent.vertical center and left to parent.left. Set left margin to 20. To add the white lines between the buttons, let's create a new rectangle. Set its width to 90% of the parent's width. Set height to 1. Color to white. Set anchors top to large size button rect.bottom. And horizontal center to parent.horizontal center. Okay, it's looking great. Now, let's add 2 more buttons, similar to this one. Change the IDs and anchors according to the position. Okay, great. Size selection view is completed. Let's move the size selection screen to a separate QML file, just like before. Awesome, it's working, but we need the back button and a start over button at the bottom. Copy the back button from drinkSelectScreen.qml and paste it twice into drinkSizeSelectScreen.qml. For the second button, change its ID to reset button rect. Change the image source to restart icon. In the reset button rectangle, set anchors right to parent.right and right margin to 30. Change the text anchors right to reset button image.left and right margin to 5. In the onClicked handler, pass the null to stackView.pop. Change the text to start over. Also, change the image anchors right to parent.right. Let's run the app. It looks good to me. Now, let's create the sugar level selection screen, which is pretty similar to the size selection screen. I'll copy drinkSizeSelectScreen.qml and paste it into main.qml. We don't need the right side size selection panel, so let's remove it and create a new rectangle for the sugar level selection panel. Set its ID to sugar level select container. Set height to parent.height. And width to 50% of the parent's width. Set anchors right to parent.right. Set radius to 15 and color to transparent. To add the button information, let's create a list model with an ID of sugar level list model. Now, let's add the list elements. Add a list element with a new property level set to 1. Add level name property and set value to no sugar 0%. Add level color property and set value to the appropriate color from our Figma template. Copy and paste this list element 5 more times to set the other sugar level properties. I'll quickly set those now. Alright, let's add a grid view with an ID of sugar level grid view. Set anchors.fill to parent. Set the model to our sugar level list model we just created. Set cell height to parent.height divided by 6 since we have 6 different sugar levels. Set cell width to parent.width. For the delegate, create a rectangle with width to parent.width and height to parent.height divided by 6. Set radius to 15. Set color to level color. Since our model is sugar level list view, we can directly call the that properties. The grid elements are rendering correctly, but the outer rectangle doesn't look quite right. Let's cut the grid view and move it into another rectangle. Set anchors.fill to parent. And set anchors left and right margins to 40. Set top and bottom margins to 20. Set color to transparent and radius to 15. Paste the grid view inside this new rectangle. Alright, now it's looking good. Inside the delegate rectangle, add a text element, set color to white, and set text to level name. Set anchors.center into parent. Set font.pixel size to 24. It looks good, but the elements are in increasing order. Our template shows them in decreasing order. Let's quickly reverse the grid view order. Perfect, now it matches the template. Let's move this sugar level selection screen to a separate QML file. Now you know how to do that. Alright, let's add the confirmation screen to start the drink order. Looking at our Figma template, it's similar to the size selection screen. I'll copy the elements from drink size select screen.qml. Let's implement the screen in main.qml first, as before. The screen is divided into 3 parts, so let's set the rectangle's width to parent.width divided by 3. Also, update the IDs to reflect the confirmation screen. Since this is similar to the other screens, I'll go through it quickly. Feel free to pause the video and try it yourself. The confirmation screen is done. Now, let's add a preparation indication screen like this, including a busy indicator. Let's get started with the implementation. Add a rectangle, set its ID to preparation drink screen, and set anchors.fill to parent. Set color to transparent. We need a busy indicator here. Checking the Qt documentation, there's a built-in busy indicator in QML controls. Let's use that busy indicator here. To use it, import Qt Quick Controls material. Set the ID to preparating drink busy indicator. Set anchors.center to parent. Set width and height to 260. Set material.accent to white. Let's run it. You can see the busy indicator is working correctly. Next, we need to add the bottom text. Alright, let me quickly add that text. The busy indicator screen is completed. Now, let's move it to a separate QML file. Alright, let's create the final enjoy message screen. It's a super simple screen, so I'll quickly implement it. You can skip this part or pause the video and implement it yourself. Alright, looks good. Now, let's switch the stack view's initial item back to hot cool select screen. Next, we need to manage the system state. We also need to dynamically render the drink information. I'll use a JSON file to load the dynamic drink information. I've already created the JSON file with all the drink details. Here, you can see 3 JSON objects: hot drinks, cool drinks, and fresh juices, each listing the drink information. You could define one object with a type property alongside others. But I'll stick with this structure since it's easier and better for handling, and I will show why later. First, let's create a class to manage these drink properties. Before starting the backend classes, open the project directory and create new folders called controllers and models. It's good practice to organize our file system. Now, create a new C++ header file named drink.h and place it in the models folder. In drink.h, create a drink class that inherits from QObject. Include the QObject header. Click here, press Alt plus Enter, and select Add Include QObject. Add the Q_object macro. Create a public constructor that takes a QObject pointer. Set default value to null pointer, and passes it to the base QObject class. Now, let's define the drink properties. Add a Q_property for an int property named ID. Set only to read with constant. Next, for the drink name, add a Q_property with type QString. Next, add properties for the drink and glass image sources. For these we can use QString. But real world the JSON file uses paths like URLs, so actually let's use QURL for these image source properties. To use QURL, include the QURL header. Now, generate the missing members for these properties. For ID, press Alt plus Enter and select Generate Missing Q_property members. You'll see the generated members, including a private m_id member. Let's move the inline functions inside the class. Update the constructor to take the ID parameter. And pass it to ID member. Do the same for the other properties. Alright, let's create the drink model class. Make a new C++ class in the models folder. Name it to drink model. Set the base class to QAbstractListModel, check the option to include QObject, and enable the Q_object macro. Then, create the class. In the constructor, pass the parent QObject pointer to the base QAbstractListModel class. Click on QAbstractListModel, press Alt plus Enter, and select Insert Virtual Functions of Base Classes. Ensure row count and data are checked, along with role names, and click OK. Let's add the definitions for these functions in the drinkModel.cpp file. Next, we need a list to store the drink details. Add a new member. QList. Type of drink pointer. And name it to m_drinks. We need to include the drink.h header. Set this to private member. Let's add an enum to manage the drink property roles. Add an enum with ID role set to Qt user role +1, followed by name role, image role, and glass image role. Next, add a private method to load the drink list data into the QList member. Create a void load from JSON method that takes a const QString reference to the JSON file path parameter. Add this method's definition to drinkModel.cpp. In the method, let's first open the JSON file. Create a QFile object, passing JSON file path to it. Open the file in QIO device read-only mode. And if it fails, print an error message. Next, get the JSON document from the file. Include the QJSON document header. Then, close the file after reading. Call begin reset model to prepare the model for updates. Delete all objects in the m_drinks list. Type m_drinks.clear to clear the queue list. From the JSON document, let's extract the JSON object. Include the QJSON object header. To get the drink array, we need to pass the JSON object key, like hot drinks, and convert it to a JSON array. Include the QJSON array header. But we need to handle 3 different lists for each JSON object. Let's get the JSON tag from the constructor. Add a const QString reference of JSON array key parameter. Create a private QString member named m_JSON array key. Set m_JSON array key in the constructor. Now, use this key to access the array. Iterate through the drinks array. Convert each value to a JSON object. Update m_drinks by appending a new drink. Pass the object's ID converting as an integer. Pass name converting to a string. Pass image and glass image also as string. Here these JSON tags must match the JSON file tags. And set the parent to this drink model. Finally, call endResetModel to finish the model update. In the rowCount function, which returns the number of drinks in our model, return 0 if the parent index is valid, otherwise return the size of the m_drinks list. Data function, which need to retrieves data for a given index and role. Check if the index is invalid, or if the row is out of bounds. Type return QVariant to return an empty QVariant if the index check fails. Get the drink object at the specified row index. Here the role enum I have forgot to give a class name. Set it as role. And also set it to QEnum. Switch statement, casting the role to our role enum. Return the drink's ID for the ID role. For the other roles also pass the correct values from drink. Return an empty QVariant for any unmatched roles. Role names function, which maps our enum roles to string names for QML. Create a QHash to store the role mappings. Map the ID role to the string ID. Map the name role to the string name. Also map the other 2 roles. Return the roles containing all role mappings. Alright, let's create separate models for the hot, cool, and fresh drink tables. First, for the hot drink model, create a new C++ header file named hotdrinkmodel.h and place it in the models folder. First include the drinkmodel.h header. Create a new class hotDrinkModel that inherits from the drinkModel class. Add the Q_object macro. In the constructor, define explicit hotDrinkModel with a QObject pointer parameter, defaulting to null pointer, and pass it to the base drinkModel class. In the drinkModel constructor, pass the JSON array key, hotDrinks, along with the parent. Okay, that's all we need here. In the same way, create the other two models, cool drink model and fresh drink model. Make sure to give the same key what we defined in the JSON file. Alright, let's register these models in our project so we can use them in QML. First, create instances of the drink models in main.cpp for all three models. In the drink model base class, we defined the load from JSON method, so let's call it to load the drink data into the queue list. First, let's define the path to the JSON file. Before that, we need to add the JSON file as a resource in our project. If you check cmakeLists.txt, you'll see the JSON file is incorrectly listed as a QML file. Let's fix that to register it as a resource. Now, define the full path to the JSON file as a QString. Call load from JSON for each model. We can use the same JSON file for all three models since they share the same structure. But this way we can use three different files to load the data. Alright, let's set these models as context properties in the QML engine's root context so we can access them in our QML code. Assign an ID to each model when setting the context property. Include the Qt QML context to use setContextProperty method. Here pass the instance reference of the hot drink model. Set other models also. Alright, let's verify that the JSON file loading and context properties setup are working correctly. Go to drinkSelectScreen.qml and, in drink custom item, let's use the JSON list model values from our models. First, in drink custom item.qml, add new required properties for the drink name. And also required property for image source. Pass those to the image source and text content. Back in drinkSelectScreen.qml, set the repeaters model to hot drink model, which we registered in main.cpp. In the repeaters drink custom item, pass the name and image properties, ensuring the role names match those defined in role names. OK, in main.qml stack view initial item, let's set to the drink select screen to test. And run the application. Perfect, that hot drink model is correctly rendered to view. Let's check the other models also. OK, perfect, all are rendering correctly. Now let's add a system controller to control the system states. Create a new C++ class and place it in the controllers folder. Name the class to SystemController, and set the base class to QObject. OK, then create it. First, let's add an enum called drink temperature to manage the hot and cool states. Define the enum values as none, hot, and cool. Now, add a Q underscore property for the drink temperature state. Type of drink temperature enum. And name it to drink temperature. Generate the missing Q property members. Here add the class name it's not automatically update. Let's register the system controller as a QML type in main.cpp. QML register type and give the SystemController class. And include the SystemController.h header. Give unique module name here. I will give com.company.drinkbar. Next, give the major and minor versions of the module. Last, give the name for SystemController to use in QML to create the object. I will give same as the class name SystemController. Now, let's bring the registered type into QML. Open main.qml and import the registered type with import com.company.drinkbar 1.0. Add a SystemController item and set its ID to SystemController. Now we can access the SystemController across all pages since it's defined in main.qml, and other pages are rendered through the stack view in this file. In drinkSelectScreen.qml, import the registered type, so we can access its enums to check conditions. The repeater model is currently hard-coded. Let's make it conditional. Check SystemController, which we defined in main.qml. SystemController.drinkTemperature, the Q property we set up. Check if it's equal to SystemController.hot. If it's true, return hot drink model. Copy the if statement, change it to check for SystemController.cool, and return cool drink model. Since fresh juices also use drinkSelectScreen.qml, let's add new value to drink temperature enum as fresh juice. Then we can check the fresh juice condition also. In the repeater model condition, add another check for fresh juice and return fresh juice model. Open hotCoolSelectScreen.qml. In the hot button's mouse area on clicked handler, set SystemController.drinkTemperature equal to SystemController.hot. To access the SystemController enum in hotCoolSelectScreen, import the registered QML type. In the cool button's on clicked handler, set SystemController.drinkTemperature equal to SystemController.cool. OK, run the application. There's an error, cannot assign undefined to SystemController's drink temperature. The SystemController enum type isn't accessible because I forgot to register drink temperature as a Q enum in SystemController header. Fix that. Alright, let's run the application again. Now, you can see the hot and cool drinks are rendered conditionally based on the selection. In the cool drink section, you can see there's a fresh juice item. When we select it, we need to set SystemController.drinkTemperature to fresh juice. In drinkSelectScreen.qml, add a mouse area to the repeater's rectangle and set anchors.fill to parent. In the on-clicked handler, let's check the name, fresh juice, of the drink that we defined in the JSON file. Check if drinkCustomItem.drinkName is equal to fresh juice. If condition is true, change the drink temperature to SystemController.freshJuice. Let's run the application. Now, if you select a cool drink and then choose the fresh juice item, you can see the fresh juice model renders correctly. When we navigate to the fresh juice selection and click the back button, it jumps to hotCoolSelectScreen.qml, but we want it to return to the cool drink selection page instead. In the back button's on-clicked handler, check if SystemController.drinkTemperature is SystemController.freshJuice. If true, set it to SystemController.cool, otherwise, pop to hotCoolSelectScreen. Run it again. This time you can see after clicking back button from the juice select screen it goes back to cool drink select screen. Okay, perfect. Now when we click one of the drink it will select the drink and navigate to the size select screen. Now let's implement that. When we select a drink, we need to set that as the selected drink in the system. In SystemController.h, add a new Q property with type drink pointer, name selected drink, and include the drink.h header file. Generate the missing Q property members for selected drink. In SystemController.h, add a new Q_invocable method called void set selected drink that accepts int ID, const QString reference name. Const QString reference image. Const QString reference glass image. Add the setSelectedDrink method definition to SystemController.cpp. In the definition, create a new drink pointer using the provided parameters. You could validate the parameters before creating the drink object, but I'll skip that for now. Then, assign the new drink to the m_selectedDrink property. Go to drinkSelectScreen.qml. In the mouse area's onClicked handler for a drink, if the drink custom item.drink name is not fresh juice, call the SystemController.setSelectedDrink method, passing the ID, name, image, and glass image properties. After that, navigate to SysSelectScreen.qml using StackView.push. In SysSelectScreen.qml, update the image source to SystemController.selectedDrink.image URL. Alright, let's run the application. When we click a drink, it should navigate to SysSelectScreen.qml, but it's not happening. Check the console, it shows a parameter type error. Let's inspect the setSelectedDrink method. The glass image parameter is missing the const keyword, it should be const QString, and since it's a string reference, update in both header and CPP files. Run the application again. Now it's navigating correctly to the size selection screen, but the selected drink's image isn't recognized. Check the image source in SysSelectScreen.qml. It's just the image name from the JSON file, so we need to give the full path like this. Run again. Perfect, now the selected drink is working, and the drink image appears in SysSelectScreen.qml. But, per our Figma template, the size selection screen should show the glass image instead of the drink image. Let's update it to glass image URL. Alright, looks perfect now. Alright, let's add an enum for size selection, similar to the drink temperature enum. Feel free to pause the video and try it yourself. Create an enum called drink size with values no size, small, medium, and large. Register it as a Q enum. Add a new Q property for the drink size enum, named drink size. Generate the missing Q property members. Go to SysSelectScreen.qml, and in the large buttons rectangle, add a mouse area and set anchors.fill to parent. In the onClicked handler, set SystemController.drinkSize equals SystemController.large. Copy and paste the import statement of the registered module name to SysSelectScreen.qml to access the SystemController enums. Copy and paste the mouse area to the medium and small button rectangles and update the size selection respectively. Next, we need to navigate to the appropriate screen. In our Figma template, after selecting the drink size, hot drinks should navigate to the sugar level selection screen, while others go straight to the confirmation screen. Let's add a new function called onSizeSelect. Check if the drink is hot. If it's hot, navigate to sugar level select screen.qml. Otherwise, navigate to confirmation screen.qml. Add this function to all of the 3 size select button on click method after setting the size. My bad, these are not checking the drink size. We are setting the size, so just give 1 equal. Run the application and you will see the hot drink has sugar level checking screen. Others are moved directly to confirmation screen. Still we haven't updated those screen to update with real data. Let's first go to the sugar level select screen. Update image source to selected drink glass image. In confirmation screen.qml, update the image source and text fields based on the selected drink. For the drink type, check SystemController.drink temperature and return the appropriate text. For drink name, just pass the selected drink name. Next, size information. Here we need to display sugar level text. Okay, let's implement the system sugar level condition. In SystemController.h, add a new Q property with type int, name sugar level. Generate the missing Q property members for sugar level. Go to sugar level, select screen.qml. In the grid view delegate rectangle, add a mouse area. In the onClicked handler, set SystemController.sugarLevel to the level defined in the list element. Then, navigate to confirmation screen.qml using stackView.push. In confirmation screen.qml, add a new property string sugar level text with a default value of an empty string. Bind the sugar level text property to the sugar level text element. In sugar level, select screen.qml. When pushing confirmation screen.qml via stackView.push, set the sugar level text property to level name. Let's run the application. When clicking a sugar level, it's not navigating to confirmation screen.qml, and the console shows no errors. Let's check the code. We need to set the mouse area anchors.filter parent in the grid view delegate rectangle. Alright, now it's working correctly. Here in the cool drinks no sugar level indication. It's okay, we set the default text to empty string. Alright, let's add the click handler for the start button. Add a mouse area and set anchors.filter parent. In the onClicked handler, navigate to preparing drink screen.qml. In preparing drink screen.qml, after the component is completed, we need to notify the system that the user has placed the order. Let's add a new method called start preparing for this. In SystemController.h, add a new Q invocable method called void start preparing. Here, since we don't have any hardware, I'll just debug the drink order information. I have written some code for this, so you can type it out or skip it. It's not necessary. If we had hardware, we'd trigger it to start preparation. Since we don't, let's use a timer and trigger the view after it finishes. Create a private member QTimer pointer named m_drink preparing timer and include the QTimer header. In the SystemController constructor, create a new QTimer, set its interval to 3 seconds. Set single shot to true. In here to start preparing function, call m_drink preparing timer start. Add a new slot function called drink preparing timer timeout. Generate its definition. Add a new signal named drink preparation finish to notify when preparation is done. In preparing drink screen.qml, create a new connections object, set its target to SystemController, and connect to the on-drink preparation finished signal. Note that the signal uses a capital D in on-drink preparation finished, as that's how Qt's auto-generated naming works. After preparation finishes, navigate to enjoy drink message screen.qml. In the drink preparing timer timeout slot, emit the drink preparation finished signal. Now, we need to connect the timer's timeout signal to our drink preparing timer timeout slot. This is how it's done. Type connect m_drink preparing timer and qtimer timeout this and SystemController drink preparing timer timeout to link the timer to the slot. Let's check the updates. Select a drink and click the Start button. You'll see it automatically navigates to enjoy drink message screen.qml after 3 seconds. After enjoy drink message screen, we need to reset the system and navigate back to hot call select screen.qml. In enjoy drink message screen.qml, let's wait a few seconds before navigating back to the home screen. To do this, add a timer item. Set its ID to finish timer, interval to 2 seconds, and running to false. On the onTriggered handler, navigate back to hot call select screen.qml by clearing the stack view with setting pop null to it. On completed, start the finish timer. Let's check it. You can see after 2 seconds, the enjoy message closes and navigates back to hot call select screen.qml. In the console, you can see the drink information printed out. When navigating back to hot call select screen.qml, let's reset the system state. Set SystemController.drink temperature to SystemController.none. Drink size to SystemController.no size. And set sugar level to 0. In sugar level select screen.qml, when the start over button is pressed, also reset the system state to clear the last selections. Here in Enjoy Drink message screen, change the glass image to selected drink glass image. This Enjoy message screen view not correct. Let's correct it. Okay, now it's fine. Let's wrap things up. For the buttons, let's add a press indication. In the mouse area, set the button's color to a light shade on pressed. On released, revert back to the original color. Apply this press indication to the other buttons as well. Now you can see the app is working perfectly. Alright, let's update the date time item to show the real-time date and time. In main.qml, add a new timer and set its ID to datetime timer. Set the interval to ½ minute. Set repeat to true and set running to true. In the onTriggered handler, update the datetime text with the current date using Qt format datetime like this. In component.onCompleted, set the initial time for datetime text. Finally, set an icon for this app in main.cpp. Perfect, everything is working great now. Alright, we've just built an awesome drink bar application using Qt QML, complete with a dynamic UI, JSON data handling, and smooth navigation between screens. From setting up the Figma-inspired design to managing system states with our SystemController, we covered it all step by step. I hope you enjoyed coding along and learned some cool Qt QML tricks. For the next video, I'm super excited to take this project to the next level. We're going to rebuild this same drink bar app, but this time for an STM32F769 discovery board screen, using Qt for MCUs. We'll dive into creating a slick UI for a microcontroller, so stay tuned for that, it's gonna be epic. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.